first of all, I think when indigenous people came to this global arena of negotiation as COP29, we had a lot of expectation. And specifically in this COP29, we have big expectation around climate finance and how indigenous people see the issues of climate finance related to direct access to the fund, and also how we were expecting that the new collective quantified goals on climate finance will be defined here. Because if you know the new collective quantified goal and CQG, I better say CQG, the two important issues. One, they want to define the qualitative elements that are around human rights issues, and the we were thinking that it's important the right of indigenous people should be included in document. That would be a great outcome for indigenous people. If you see the document as is now, even it's bracketed the entire document, but inside the document all the issues about the 5 references of indigenous people are clear. We should have aimed for a more strong language, but as it is right now, I think it's a good outcome, even if that is a document that is still not final. So it's fine because they talk about indigenous people rights, they talk about the knowledge system of indigenous people. So that part is covered. The other part that was the quantitative part still missing, because first of all there is not going to be I don't think it's going to be an agreement of the quantity in trillions, and also the issues about how indigenous people can access to these funds. And all this direct access to the funds still, I think, is in a gray area in the climate finance. Most of the financial mechanisms are focused on do finance through countries, and this also means that this country-driven process. That also means in most of this financial mechanism process, indigenous people are. It's not easy for indigenous people to access to the fund if it's not through intermediaries, and that's one of the big challenges that we have sometimes with intermediaries. So I think those are the main issues that we were thinking for this COP, the issues of finance. Okay, the road for COP30, I think, as we don't know what is going to be the outcome of this COP, I think I really hope there is some kind of agreement during this COP. If not, all the issues that the COP30 were looking to prioritize in the discussion that was around just transition, about adaptation, that is so important for indigenous people, that also can be just push for the COP31, and I think that's something that is really can have a negative impact in indigenous people participation, negotiation in this impact. And I think indigenous people are already working, at least through the caucus, to define a roadmap to strain the capacity of not only about participation, but also how to do advocacy at global level. And the presidency of COP30 is also open to dialogue with indigenous people, to think what are not only logistical things are there, but no, about content. What are the issues that indigenous people want to see in the final document in Belém or in any other city that will be in Brazil, no? So I think that's important, because we have to prepare ourselves to raise these critical issues, to see what we want from these documents at the end of COP30. And now we start to negotiate with with the COP30 presidency to open that door, so we can not only ask for support of logistical issues that are important, but at the end what we want is indigenous people with a strong language that recognize the right, that recognize the importance of the participation, effective and active participation in all this climate action process in our territories.